You feel it, don't you? That quiet ache beneath the noise, the sense that this world was never meant for you. Like everyone else got the script, and you were left improvising in a play that feels hollow. You watch people talk, laugh, perform, and you see it. The hunger behind the smiles, the fear hiding beneath their confidence, the aching loneliness beneath their so-called success. And somewhere along the way, you started thinking, maybe you're the broken one. You're not. What if I told you Carl Jung saw this? Saw you, not as flawed, but as rare. So rare most will never meet someone like you. He called it a different kind of consciousness, a perception so sharp, so dangerous, it threatens the illusions others depend on. Your difference isn't a defect, it's a frequency. And once you tune into it, your exhaustion, your isolation, your inability to stomach the shallow and the scripted, it all starts to make sense. But before we go further, you need to understand, this won't be comfortable. Because once you see this, once you recognize what you are, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending, and you'll never again believe you're ordinary. Are you ready for that? Jung called it dangerous perception, and if you have it, you already know why. You don't just see people, you see through them. Their words say, "I'm fine," but their energy begs not to be alone. Their life looks polished, but you feel the cracks. Their success is a mask, and you hear it cracking beneath every boast, every smile. You didn't choose this. You didn't ask to feel everything so deeply. You can't turn it off, and some days it's tearing you apart. Because here's what Jung understood. When you see this much, this clearly, you become a mirror. And mirrors, they terrify those who've spent a lifetime avoiding their own reflection. That tension in the room when you enter, it's real. It's their unconscious recognizing that you see the truth. You see their shadow, the parts they buried, denied, forgot even existed. Your very presence asks a question they can't answer. Why are you still pretending? And instead of facing that truth, they turn it on you. You're too intense. You think too much. Why can't you just be normal? But you know the answer. You can't be normal. Because normal means pretending. It means accepting appearances as truth and comfort as meaning. It means silencing the part of you that knows that behind the smiles and routines, most people are just trying to survive a life they never chose. To be normal would mean betraying the very gift that sets you apart. This dangerous perception that cuts through illusion and demands something real. And here's where it goes deeper. Because this way of seeing, it reveals something else. Something raw, something painful. You are starving for depth. And that brings us to the second sign. One that few will ever understand. You are allergic to the superficial. Small talk feels like being buried alive. Casual friendships leave you lonelier than solitude ever could. You need conversations that matter, that pierce the mask, that walk straight into the soul. You crave connection where pretense dies, where silence speaks louder than words, and where truth, however dark, is welcome. Jung saw this clearly. He wrote, "Rare personality types live in constant existential tension. They cannot fully join the collective dream, but they cannot fully escape it either. You are caught between worlds, too awake to sleep, too human to transcend." And here's the shadow side no one talks about. This depth you carry, it isolates you. Because while you're yearning for something real, most people are perfectly content with emotional fast food. They want comfort, not truth, validation, not growth, to stay safely numb, and when you can't, won't, play along, they feel threatened. Think about the relationships you've lost, not because you did anything wrong, but because you couldn't keep pretending, couldn't laugh at empty jokes, couldn't nod through gossip, couldn't smile through surface chatter when your soul was screaming to ask, why are we even here? This isn't arrogance. This isn't superiority. This is survival. Because for someone like you, the shallow isn't just boring. It drains your life force. And maybe you felt something else. A kind of exhaustion that hits you around people that you can't explain. Like you're carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. That's because you are. And this third sign, this is where Jung's insights begin to feel almost otherworldly. Now we enter darker territory, the third sign. You don't just notice things, you absorb them. Not just thoughts, not just observations, everything. Unspoken rage, buried grief, denied desires. You're not just an observer, you're an emotional alchemist, silently transmuting the psychological debris of everyone around you. Jung had a name for this: participation mystique, when the boundary between you and others dissolves and you merge with the collective unconscious. For most people, it's fleeting. For you, it's constant. That sudden wave of sadness, was it yours? That tension in your chest? Maybe it belonged to the person sitting next to you. That inexplicable anger could be the unexpressed fury of strangers you pass today. You feel it all. You carry it all. And this is why you crave solitude, not because you're antisocial, but because you need to remember where you end and others begin. You need silence to hear your own thoughts again. You need stillness to find your way back to yourself. But here's the brutal truth. This gift, this sensitivity, can become an escape. When you're drowning in other people's emotions, you don't have to face your own. When you're solving their problems, you avoid your own. When you're the healer, the listener, the one everyone turns to, you get to bypass your own inner work. Until one day, you realize something chilling. You know everyone else's soul, but your own is a stranger. And that's when the real battle begins. Not with the world, but within yourself. Because having this kind of perception means living with a constant split, a fracture that pulls you apart day after day. If you've seen yourself in these signs, subscribe now, because what we're uncovering here is only the beginning. Click that button. We're going to need each other for what's coming next. Now the fourth sign, and this one cuts the deepest. You're fighting a war no one can see, between who you are and who the world expects you to be. Jung understood this. He saw that people like you live with a profound inner conflict. Your true self, it's too intense for the world, too raw, too real. So you fragment. There's the professional you, the social you, the family you, all carefully managed, all exhausting. None of them real. Every mask you wear, a quiet betrayal. Every time you dim your light to fit in, you abandon your nature. And every moment you pretend to be normal, you reinforce the lie that who you really are is unacceptable. This split, it has consequences. Symptoms no doctor can explain. Fatigue no amount of sleep will fix. A sense of emptiness that no success can fill. And if this feels like your life, it's because you're not alone. And you were never broken. You were just born awake in a world that's still asleep. Your soul is exhausted, not from work, but from performance. Anxiety strikes from nowhere. Depression creeps in like fog. And beneath it all, your authentic self is screaming, begging to be released. You're not broken. You're not mentally ill. You're spiritually suffocating. And here's what Jung understood. The very parts of you that feel like too much, your intensity, your depth, your ability to see what others can't, these are not flaws. They are gifts. Gifts the world has always tried to suppress, but gifts the world desperately needs. Because every leap in human consciousness has come from someone like you. Someone who couldn't accept the surface as truth. Someone too sensitive to conform. Too awake to stay asleep. That's your role. That's your purpose. But you can't fulfill it while living in fragments. The constant strain of pretending, of switching masks to survive, it's unsustainable. Your body knows it. Your soul knows it. And deep down, you know it too. But something else is happening. Something subtle, almost mystical. Because even as you splinter yourself to fit in, your true frequency is still broadcasting. And there are others who can hear it. This next sign takes us into Jung's most mysterious work. Territory science still can't explain. The fifth sign, you recognize your own kind instantly. It's not rational, it's not logical. You meet someone, anywhere, anytime, and something within you clicks. A soul recognition. A feeling of, there you are, I've been looking for you. Jung called this synchronicity, but it goes deeper. It's like you have a hidden antenna that only picks up certain signals. And when another soul is broadcasting on your same frequency, your whole being responds. Time feels different. Masks drop without effort. You speak truths you've never said out loud, and they nod like they've been waiting their whole life to hear exactly that. These moments are rare. Maybe you've had one or two, maybe you're still searching, but when they happen, they validate everything. You're not alone. You're not too much. You're just rare. And rare recognizes rare. But here's the shadow side. Once you've tasted true recognition, everything else feels like starvation. Once you've been seen, truly seen, invisibility becomes agony. Your frequency can't tolerate static anymore. That's why you sabotage relationships that ask you to dim your light. That's why you'd rather walk alone than pretend one more day. That's why you can't go backwards. Not after experiencing what real connection feels like. Your soul has standards now. And those standards aren't just preferences. They're rooted in something deeper, something ancient, a purpose that's been burning inside you since before you could name it. But this purpose, it's not what you think. It's not a job title. It's not a list of goals. It's bigger, stranger, more vital than anything you've been told about finding your path. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because understanding this next sign will change how you see everything, especially your life's direction. The sixth sign explains it all. You carry a purpose too big for one lifetime. This isn't a career. It's not ambition. It's a calling, something that lives in your bones, that wakes you at 3 a.m. with visions, insights, messages too vast for words. It doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a cosmic assignment. Jung understood this burden. He taught that individuals who integrate their shadow, who awaken to their true self, are given a responsibility. They feel what the world can't express. They see what needs healing in the collective. They know what must be created. But here's the paradox. The same sensitivity that allows you to feel this purpose also makes it nearly impossible to fulfill. Because to live it, to truly do what you came here to do, you'd have to be fully yourself. And in a world addicted to the superficial, being fully yourself feels like social suicide. Your purpose isn't comfortable. It's not about fame, money, or validation. It's about being a bridge between worlds, saying what others can't, healing wounds most don't even see, awakening what's been asleep for generations. This is why nothing ever feels like enough, why even your successes leave you hollow. Because you weren't born to succeed. You were born to transform, to wake something up, to midwife a new way of being. But you can't do that while hiding. You can't fulfill your purpose from behind a mask. And this is where most people falter. They feel the calling, but fear the cost. They sense their purpose, but shrink back from its demands. They know they're meant for more, but settle for what feels safe. The question is, will you? Because there's one final sign, the one that determines whether you fulfill this assignment or spend your life haunted by what could have been. The seventh sign is the most profound. Your greatest wound is your greatest gift. Jung called it the sacred wound, a deep psychic injury that becomes the source of your power. Maybe you were the child who felt everything too deeply, the one who saw through the smiles, the facades, the lies. You weren't wrong. You were awake. You were the one who couldn't pretend everything was fine when it wasn't, the one whose sensitivity made them a target. But that same sensitivity, the thing that set you apart, the thing that hurt, is also what allows you to see what others never notice. That isolation you endured, it forged something inside you. It forced you to build an inner world rich enough to sustain your spirit when the outer world felt empty. Your inability to fit in, it preserved your authenticity in a world that rewards imitation. Your wound taught you how to see in the dark, and now you can guide others through theirs. This is the ultimate alchemy, the truth Jung uncovered. What breaks you open is what lets the light in. What isolates you is what makes you unique. What wounds you is what awakens you. But here's what most people miss. Healing doesn't mean erasing the wound. It means honoring it. As teacher, as initiator, as proof that you survived what should have destroyed you. And now, you're dangerous. To every lie. to every illusion. Your wound has become your gift. It made you a natural healer. Not because you're flawless, but because you're real. Not because you've escaped pain, but because you've alchemized it into something sacred, wisdom. And now, we're at the moment of truth. You've recognized the signs. You've felt that quiet relief, that sense of finally being seen. But let's be clear, recognition is not transformation. You can know you're rare and still spend your life pretending to be common. Jung said it best. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For people like you, it's more than a privilege. It's a responsibility. Because the world doesn't need another well-adjusted mask wearer. It needs you. In all your intensity, all your depth, all your too much glory. The path forward won't be easy. People will resist the real you. Some will leave. You'll be tested, again and again. But something else will happen. The right people will find you. The work that only you can do will begin to reveal itself. Your real life, the one beneath the masks, will finally begin. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It's your superpower. Your intensity isn't too much. It's exactly what's needed. Your refusal to fit in, it's not a flaw. It's your gift. The only question now is, are you ready to own it? If you've made it this far, you're not here by accident. Videos like this, they don't find people randomly. Videos like this don't find just anyone. They find people who are ready, ready to stop hiding, ready to start living as who they truly are. This is your invitation, to join a tribe of rare souls who refuse to dim their light, who choose depth over surface, truth over comfort, authenticity over approval. So subscribe, not tomorrow, not later, now, not. Because this journey into your rare nature is only just beginning. Each week, we go deeper, into the mysteries Jung uncovered, into the hidden patterns that shape your life, into the truths that will set you free. And hit that notification bell. Because when you're this rare, you need reminders. Reminders that you're not alone, that you're not crazy, that you're not too much. You need a community that speaks your language. Drop a comment below. Just 3 words. I am rare. Let that be your declaration. Your first step out of hiding, your first moment of being seen. And watch. Watch how many others respond. Your tribe is larger than you think. You've just been scattered, waiting to be found. And share this video, not with everyone. Most won't understand, but share it with that one person, the one who's been drowning in their own depth, the one who thinks they're broken because they can't do shallow, the one who needs to hear that their difference is their gift. Because in a world addicted to facades, your authenticity isn't just personal liberation, it's medicine. And we need you, fully you, unmasked, unapologetic, unedited. Welcome to your real life. Welcome to your frequency. Welcome home. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. And now, you know why. I'll see you in the depths.